I don't know if this is really old news, but recently I found a nice Twitter thread talking about an original idea for Avengers Endgame, and if they would have included this type of thing, it could have changed the entire way that we look at the character of the Hulk. We're going to get into this and what some top replies had to say to kind of get a gauge on how the community around Marvel is feeling about this right now. And as always, guys, I would love to know what you think about this whole conversation down below afterwards. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Let's start by taking this tweet over from Comic Cottagy. So I don't know if I'm saying that right. Apologies. Anyways, Endgame originally featured Bruce Banner and Hulk meeting each other in the Soul World after Bruce used the Nano Gauntlet to bring half the universe back. I have never heard about this before. I heard that there was a couple different things that they were different kind of ways they were going to take Thanos, but I thought this would have been great because I was one of those people personally, and I would imagine a lot of people are kind of in the same boat who didn't like the way Hulk was handled, didn't like the way that Bruce Banner was kind of turned into Professor Hulk off camera. They had this whole relationship through Infinity War, and pretty well, like, honestly, the entirety of the time that we knew Hulk in the MCU, they had this relationship, and it was building up to something. We never got to see that conflict resolution at all. I think this would have been fantastic. I think that would have been a perfect time to bring them into that world, and I would have loved this. It would have made a lot more sense if they were to come together and have Professor Hulk then. Plus, I mean, we would have got a little bit more of Hulk because I didn't really like Professor Hulk. But then again, like, that might have changed the entire movie. But that's what the interesting part about it, right? Maybe they would have had Professor Hulk already because once you go to the world of the souls, I guess they could have their separate entities. I don't really know. Very, very confusing. But I wanted to take a look at what some of the top replies had to say because it's not just what I think about this. I want to get kind of a gauge on how the entire community is thinking about this. And actually, I'm very proud because I actually had the top reply to this when the tweet came out. Why do movies cut out such good concepts? This is how I'm feeling about it, man. Like, I get that you can't, like, there's things that you need to cut out, but there's, like, that seemed like such an important part of the character, and that could have changed how we viewed him the entire time. We're still thinking, like, okay, the Hulk was kind of treated really, really bad throughout this entire thing. And I think that would have changed it, to be honest with you. But let's take a look at some replies that obviously are not about me. There is no logical reason to have cut this, Matt had to say. And yeah, I can't think of anything, to be honest with you. Like, it couldn't have taken up that much time. It couldn't have taken up that much budget compared to everything that they were working with. Like, it wasn't a big sacrifice. And what would it have been? Like 1 to 2 minutes of a movie and already a 3-hour movie? I think out of everything that you could have cut, and I haven't seen, actually, I don't know to this day if I've even seen what they've actually cut from Endgame, but it seemed like, looking back on this now and having this new information, it seemed like such an important part of the story, and I would have loved to see it. Now, Brandon Simpson also had something to say over here. Should have been Natasha, in my opinion. Would have gotten good closure, but this would have been pretty good too. That's actually really, really interesting, especially after Nat ended up dying in the movie, and she had a great, great death, and that would have been a really, like this tweet says, really good closure. I'm interested in the reply over here. Well, imagine it this way. What if the Hulk was lost with the snap? I mean, he's been Bruce all his life and his closest companion no matter how much they hate each other. Okay, yeah, I guess that's a good point, but Brayden also replied to that while I'm talking about it. Might as well read it. That's actually very interesting. Obviously, it wouldn't work since he has a future in the MCU, but if they're going to close off his arc, that would have been a really emotional moment. That's true. That's true. I kind of like how they could have done both those, to be honest with you. But yeah, Natasha being brought into the world of the souls, and I don't know if that's what it's called, right? Like bringing it to the Soul Stone. I think all of that would have worked, to be honest with you. That's really, really cool. Let's continue on to another user by JLewis02. I would have loved this. I don't hate Smart Hulk, but I always thought it was kind of messed up that they did it because of Hulk was his own person with his own feelings, personality, and memories. It felt like they killed an iconic character off screen. That's a really, really good way to put it. An iconic character that so many people loved have been killed off screen. We never saw him again. We never saw him again. We just saw him barely in the movie before going, no! Like, that was the extent of it. I wanted to see, and I don't know about you guys, but when it came to Endgame, the actual movie, I was excited to see Hulk rematch Thanos. I thought that would have been really cool. And Professor Hulk, I don't know. Like, I know it's easy to look back on in hindsight, but I just didn't see it as a good idea. And here's a hot take for you guys, actually, while we're on the topic. I never really liked Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Like, he did a good job, don't get me wrong, but I think Ed Norton in Hulk 2 is way, way better. Way scarier, how the Hulk was kind of supposed to be. I really, really wish that they could have introduced that into the MCU. And now you never know, man. You never know with all this multiverse stuff. And stay tuned, by the way, because we're going to be uploading another video talking about the next concept for the Spider-Man movie that has been leaked. So like and subscribe if you want to continue watching the channel, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you being here. But let's take a look at a couple more tweets. Jamal Drake had this to say. I haven't minded how they handled Hulk knowing they were restricted due to licensing, but not having any scenes at all shows the turmoil Hulk and Banner went through to become Smart Hulk is a big miss as any, in my opinion. Yeah, like, and this is what most of the replies ended up having to say, where it just was a big miss. Like the first tweet that we took a look at, there doesn't seem to be a logical reason as to why this should have been cut. I really can't think of it other than just maybe they didn't think it was important, or maybe they knew that they missed with the Hulk making the movie. I don't know. I wish we could like get some clarification on this one day. And I don't know why this is just coming up now, or if they just felt like making a Twitter thread. I've personally never heard of this. Anyways, Raghu Seetherman had this to say: this would have made sense because you see the present with Banner and Hulk going through an internal battle. Hulk lost his confidence with Thanos, and him and Banner needing that rough talk should have happened in the Soul World. Yes! And they could have been free. They couldn't have hurt each other. And maybe if you even want to drag it into a new type thing, like you could say like they can't hurt each other. They're at peace in the Soul World. He could have gotten away with that. But anyways, now that I'm on this, I want to take a look at his reply and what he had to say too. The whole Stark meeting his daughter all grown up didn't make sense, and glad it was not used. The above scene should have been used. The idea was Hulk to bust out the armor during the Wakanda battle, but didn't happen due to Hulk refusing to come out. Yeah, I forgot about that actually. I did know about that one. His daughter coming in all grown up. I actually would have liked to see that as well. I think it would have made good closure, like even if they overused it. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they didn't bring it in. Because they already did it once with Thanos, and they didn't want to do it 2, maybe 3 times. I don't know. I wouldn't have been bothered, to be honest with you, if they made it a whole thing of like communicating with the dead, or just closure for a lot of characters. You could have had like the Soul Stone part of the entire movie, which it kind of was, but I think that having any of those would have been better than we got. At the end of the day, I didn't like Smart Hulk. I still don't like Smart Hulk. I like the big angry green guy that smashes, makes a bunch of noise, and it was actually quite interesting with like Hulk's confidence level and him developing as a character a little bit. I enjoyed watching what I did, but I didn't like it that this character got killed off screen. I was excited to see him in Endgame. We didn't get to see him in Endgame, and he barely did anything. Like, he just played some scientist, and I get that's probably what Professor Hulk is supposed to be. I'm not familiar with the comics. I don't know if I would have ever included him, but they definitely didn't do it the right way. They definitely forced it, and I think, like, with them making a movie like Endgame, they maybe just wanted to have some more cameos. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, like, different reasons for why they could have done it. Like, the first tweet that we took a look at, guys. The very first tweet that we took a look at. There's no logical reason to have cut this. I can't think of one. Like, people said pacing, time, budget and pacing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it seems like an important part of the movie they could have kept. But again, it's not just about what I think. It's about what you think down below. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you're interested, we have another conversation about the MCU, about Iron Man being Doctor Doom. You can check out this video right here, guys. I will see you either there or in the next video. Take care.